Today we are going to talk about narcissists. Of course, as everyone knows, they are entitled and it's really all about coercive control with them. Okay, so here are some secret ways, little secret stealthy ways they kind of sneak in to put you down, break you down. They'll definitely use it with classic projection and lying. Okay, you could be around them, around one of them, and they'll just randomly say, why don't you get a real job? Yeah, why don't you quit your job? So this is kind of random. This is how you've been sustaining yourself. Maybe you work in a hospital. Maybe you work in a medical office. So you might ask them, does this mean we both have to stay away from hospitals? And if we have to see a doctor in a doctor's office, well, from now on we can't go. So they'll probably throw a fit if you say something like that because they can't handle being challenged. And if you really want to trigger their narcissistic rage, tell them to quit their job. Maybe hypothetically, their job involves technology, and you say to them, there's too much technology in the world. I've decided I don't like it. So I've decided we need to get rid of our phones, get rid of our laptops. So we're not going to have anything to do with technology anymore, just you and me. So it looks like you're going to have to find a job yourself. And if you're really okay with being attacked, add in, get a real job. But I wouldn't recommend that. They'll come at you like a maniac. Okay, another thing, and I'll say that this is number 2, they'll randomly accuse you of lying. Okay, this is classic projection because that's what they do. That's all they do. That's all, they always lie. So you'll kind of think and wonder, is there a misunderstanding of some sort? So you ask, well, can you tell me to be specific about what I was lying about? Okay, again, they can't handle being challenged, so they'll probably start screaming again, degrade and attack. But they might struggle a little with what they're saying and try to stand their ground. So they might say, well, there's so many inconsistencies of, by way of everything you say. And if you ask, well, can you tell me what the inconsistencies are? They'll continue to get upset and they'll probably start, screaming and yelling, again. Okay, so this is something that's a little classic that they do all the time. Number 3, they will criticize your appearance in a way that they're trying to be quirky, cute, or helpful. Okay, they might say, oh, you're so cute, you're so sweet and plump. Oh, what a sweet, cute little dumpling. And you might ask, what do you mean by plump? Are you saying that I'm fat? Or they could say, oh, don't wrinkle your forehead. And you'll say, I'm not wrinkling my forehead. And then they might say, oh, okay. So if you want to add your own thing to it, if you say, okay, well, I guess this means we both should get a facial and we both should go to the gym. This would be another situation where they would start screaming. You'll probably hear, this could be male or female, so you're saying I need it, or you're saying I need to go. Okay. And a classic that they love, and this is kind of like a continuation of this. This is kind of like a part 2 of this one. They'll get, I was just kidding. I'm just playing. There's an example where it's kind of a 2 for 1. Okay, so they'll be completely insulting and degrading. They might say something like, well, you're probably doing it with everyone in your office. Yeah, and you were probably doing it with your boss in the elevator. It makes perfect sense. That's why you were late. It has to be the reason. So, unfortunately, you may get upset. You'll probably get upset and kind of, rant saying, why would you say that? This is horrible. Of course, this is a bad move, but it's, kind of hard to avoid. They want you to get upset. So they may or may not say, I was just kidding. They usually don't apologize unless it's a special situation that suits them, But if they still want to continue sidestepping responsibility, they might say, okay, I was just kidding. And even if I wasn't kidding, it makes perfectly good sense that I think this because you were late. But maybe I did make a mistake. Okay, this is extremely rare if they apologize or admit to wrongdoing. Again, if they're going to do that, it would be more for their own fun, their appeal, just something that they can use later on. So here are some examples. Those were just some examples of how they're putting you down with line and projection. And I want to add something else in. This isn't necessarily having anything to do with narcissism per se. This is just examples of really strange and erratic behavior. So let's say you're around someone who, well, you thought you were friends with. You agree to meet somewhere the next day. You say goodbye, they say goodbye. And the next day when you meet, they might start freaking out, pacing back and forth. You're wondering what's wrong. You'll ask, oh, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And they could say, oh, well, you couldn't wait to leave the other day. And you'll think, what do you mean I couldn't wait to leave the other day? I don't know what you're talking about. And they might scream, yes, you do. All right. So, yeah, this doesn't necessarily have to do with narcissism per se. Someone with narcissistic tendencies and someone who's a narcissist may flip out like that, but it could, potentially be something else entirely pertaining to other issues, and only a professional can diagnose that one. But just for something to think about, do your best to steer clear of them, the narcissists anyway. Okay.